Hey guys, welcome to a new vlog. This is the vlog where I read what my patrons picked for me. And today I am going to be starting with An Easy Death by Charlaine Harris. Now, right, the reason I look like this, the reason that I'm coming to you like this and letting you know what I'm reading without the book in hand is because I have the audio of this and I am currently on a mission to do some spring cleaning around my house. So I might try to vlog that. However, I'm one of those girlies who does not like the girls to be confined when I'm cleaning, so I might not vlog any of that. But I have some spring cleaning to do. I have started some unhauls, as you guys have seen, and I need to get some space cleared out for other things, not just my bedroom, not just my library, not just my books. I do have a mess, which is pretty much like a doom pile of shipping materials in my library because of my Pingo and because of my bookshop. So I do have quite a bit over there that I'm just like, oh, let's not even look at it. And then I have stacks of books for projects. I have stacks of books for series continuations. I have stacks of books for a book haul that I will be doing eventually. I'm not sure when. And then I also have kind of like a channel update for you guys that I'm going to be doing later. So all of that is playing into a lot of things that I want to do in the near future. But one thing I have currently done, and I will take you guys back to the bedroom with me for just a little bit because you know I am cleaning and everything like that. I've put together like a little reading station on my nightstand. I think that is going to help me in my goals in the future. However, in that little box, I'm only putting indie books. So indie or self-pub books, and those will be what I grab when I'm trying to wind down at night. And I do currently have No Port in a Storm that I'm reading. If you follow my Goodreads, you will have seen that. So that's currently my nightly read that I'm going for. And I'm gonna start trying to go to bed a little early so that I can get some reading done. And yeah, kind of change things up here. I'm kind of trying to move towards self-care for the next few months because of how crappy the last couple of months have been. And I know none of it is anything I'm going to blame on anybody except the douchebag that tried to hurt my friend. And, you know, changes we decided to make for ourselves, but are still pretty darn stressful. I do really want to make some progress on Saga as well. So that might be in this vlog, but currently I am starting with An Easy Death by Charlaine Harris. Now this is Cait's pick, and I do think it's going to be a book that I can listen to while I am cleaning, and I won't have to be like sitting down with the book in hand following along, even though I do have a physical copy of the book as well. It's just at the very bottom of this very large stack that I built for my TBR, so I'm going to leave it there for now. But I will check in with you guys when I get a little further on. Also, you guys might have seen this already. It's going to depend on when this goes up and when the other video goes up. I was vlogging for my arcs that I was reading, and then I got really far behind, and a lot of things happened last week that I just don't want to get into. Nothing really bad, just kind of distracted me away from YouTube, and also why I'm going to be talking a little bit later about why some changes are going to be made. I'm really excited to show you guys my book haul because two of the books that are on there are books that were picked in my 12 books by 12 friends, so I'm very excited to get to those. And then one of them is the new Simone St. James, and I'm very, very excited for that. And then one of them I just read for my ARC video, and it was so good I had to buy a physical copy. And it's been one of my only 5 stars of the year, maybe my only 5-star of the year. But I will get into this book, check in with you guys. Like I said, maybe vlog a little bit, maybe not. We will see. Okay, I said I was doing some cleaning in my room. You guys can see I've got a lot of laundry going, trying to clean off like my nightstand and stuff like that. Obviously my water and my coffee. I don't know if you guys have seen the bookshelves. Should I do like a little bookshelf tour here while we're back here? Maybe. But let me flip the camera around. So this is my nightstand with my little book thing here. And I've got No Port in a Storm. Let's see. And then The Hand of God, Cold West, and The Way of Unity. And I figure This is probably a pretty good place to like let you guys know that most of those books came from Izzy, since I'm doing my Patreon vlog right now. I will go ahead and do a little bit of a shelf tour, I guess. All right, so I've got some classics that my mom gave me. Again, these two are from Izzy, Rebecca, and the Yahtzee case. And then I've got some classics again that my mom gave me, and then back here are books that are kind of on overflow, and then a little bit of horror and thriller. And then I got Brave New World prominently displayed. I made those when me and my husband got married and put them up there. They do light up. And then you guys have heard me say that some of the books I have are in my bedroom and I can't go grab them. Well, I've got some sci-fi back here. I've got some fantasy. And then I've got some like books that I want on display back here. And then my Uncork and Unwind. And then I've got my Fairy Loot books kind of on display back here. Let me see if I can get a better angle without the light. And if you're curious, my husband has his own little bar station over here with his Bartesian and everything like that. So yeah, that is me cleaning up this space. Trying to get some spring cleaning done, trying to get all the clothes and everything put away and make this room tranquil again, because if you can't tell, it is quite tranquil back here. I just need it to be purposefully tranquil.
So I won't let her have it. Where's your collar?
Look at these cute boys. He's a little bit spoiled. He rolled his eyes at me. Hey guys, okay, so full disclosure, I am running on 0 sleep. My insomnia has been really bad this last few weeks. I say few weeks, the last couple weeks. And so I have not slept. And that is why I was able to finish An Easy Death by Charlaine Harris. Now, I want to say I have read Charlaine Harris many, many times before. I love Sookie Stackhouse. I've read her Shakespeare mysteries. I've read her Lily Bard mysteries. I've read a ton from Charlaine Harris. I didn't really like this one. So there are elements that I liked about it. There are elements that I didn't like about it. I loved the Western vibe that I got from this, because we have a Gunny, and her name is Gunny Rose, or that's what they call her. And she basically travels with these caravans, protecting them from all of the creatures, bandits, and magicians that could be on the trails that they are venturing onto. Now, this opens up with Gunny losing her entire crew, including the man that she loves. And I say that because I feel like it's important to what I'm going to say next. So she decides that she is going to take this group of magicians across the way and protect them. She doesn't like these people. She has a very bad history with these people, not these people in particular, but, you know, magicians and everything like that. And so she doesn't want to take them, but the money's too good to turn down. And there's like an insta-love thing that happens with these characters. And I'm like, she just lost the guy that she was dating. And whether she was in love with him or not, like that has to be horrific and traumatic. And it happens very quickly. It's very abrupt. And I've seen Charlaine Harris like do some really good like sexy time scenes. I've read Sookie Stackhouse. So I don't know why this was done this way. I felt like everything was abrupt. Now, this is a short book. Oh, I still haven't taken out my bookmark. This is a very short book. And I was doing this via audio. I don't think it was the audiobook's fault, though. I thought the plot was a little eh. It just, everything seemed so rushed. And I would have liked maybe 200 more pages to fill this out and maybe develop that relationship a little bit more, maybe get a little bit more background as to why America is divided, because this is an alternate history of the United States. And Again, and it's also fantasy, alternate history, fantasy western. There we go. But I don't know. Everything was a bit lacking for me. Even Charlene Harris's writing. Because, like I said, I've read a ton of books by her. Now, here's another thing that might have been my problem. So, I read Charlene Harris before I started picking up things like Anthony Ryan. I mean, I had read a whole lot of literary things before because I have an English degree. So, obviously, I've read a ton of classics and I've had to do papers on like the poets and anyway, this just didn't do it for me. And I'm so sad because I really wanted to like this. I'm going to end a 3-star with this because there were things I did like about it. And like I said, it was like the Western and how she delved a little bit into the history of how America got divided, but not nearly as much as I would have wanted. There were things I found interesting. And I really liked the historical aspects that were in here as well, like touching on how things could have gone one way in the alternate history, but this happened and this failed. And I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I mean, not a horrible book, but definitely not a favorite and definitely disappointing in regards to what I expect from Charlene Harris. Now, that does lead me to the fact that I have picked up, and I think I've talked to you guys about this. Maybe it was on my Discord. Because I put it in the vlog. Okay. So I have books sitting next to my bed that I'm going to be picking up at night when I'm trying to wind down, and No Port in a Storm. After reading that, I had to go back. I had to go back to this, and I am only about 40 pages in, but that's what I read last night, and I'm so excited to be back with Millie. The story hasn't really gone anywhere yet because we are 40 pages in. It's more talking about how Millie and, oh, what's his name? Gilbert, right? Is it Gilbert? Yes, I think it is. How Millie and Gilbert's relationship is starting to evolve, which they did something to protect their kids in the first book that I don't want to spoil for you guys, so I won't touch on that. And so it's kind of interesting to watch how they are going about living their lives with that big event occurring. And like I said, no spoilers, no spoilers. Don't want to spoil the first book, but I love Millie. I love this world. I love Cal's writing. Now, this is a Western I want to be reading. So, on that same note, I started Flames of Mira. Guys, I want to tell you what this is about, but I'm 151 pages in, and I really don't know. All I know is that we have this guy who has powers, and the king of this land has bound our main character, and when he dies, he's not necessarily free, but he doesn't have to do the bidding of the king anymore. This says Magnet Sorello Adrian, and he gets overthrown, but we find out that the sabotage has occurred, he has died, and things are going a little sideways for our character. But that's all I know. That's not very plot focused. And there's a lot of lore being thrown at me, a lot of history, a lot of stuff just being discussed, not a whole lot of plot. I find myself zoning out a little bit. That could also be because I haven't slept. I've had a lot of issues with sleepage. That sounded like seepage. With sleeping, with wanting to sleep, with falling asleep, staying asleep. So I'm not hating this yet, though. And my copy is an art copy, so it'd be very different from what you guys have. I think the actual cover is blue. But, I mean, right now, we're running for our lives, journeying. My favorite part of fantasy. No, you guys know I actually hate that part of fantasy. I don't know what to think about it yet. I think I need to get into the meat of this story, find out what's actually going on, and then I'll be able to decide whether or not I like it. The writing's good. I do like the writing. I do kind of like our characters so far, with the exception of one. There was a very weird moment with a couple of our characters, and I have to say, our bro was set up quite badly for that part of the book. But I'm like, did we really have to go there? Was that necessary? I don't think it was. Yeah, I'm gonna go either work out, burn some energy to see if I can fall asleep tonight, or take a nap, whichever one wins out. I'm not really sure. I'm trying a new yoga workout that I can do in bed. If you guys don't know, I hurt my back about a year ago, and I'd gone to the chiropractor, hurt it again when I went on vacation, kind of fell down the stairs. This had to do with running through Universal Studios. I actually injured my back again and then fell down the stairs. So anyway, I haven't been working out, and I've maintained like a steady, healthy diet, but I almost have to with PCOS. Otherwise, I will have a lot more issues than what is typical, and it really sucks. So I really want to get back into a workout routine. I do yoga quite often. That is my go-to. But since I'm trying to learn to trust my back again, I think I'm going to try this lazy yoga routine that I can do in bed and see how that goes, and work my way up to maybe like a 28-day challenge, or back to my typical hour-and-a-half routine that I was doing before. We've been walking the dog. You guys will probably see clips of that. So I am trying to get back to a place of healing with my back. And it could be I'm not exercising, so my brain's telling me we did nothing. So why are we going to sleep? So I'm just going to kind of work on trying to get some sleep, but also work on these two books here. This is technically not supposed to be part of this vlog. However, this is in my 12 books by 12 friends because I am friends with Cal and she said, read my book. So I said, okay. All right, hey guys, I did realize that I forgot to tell you guys something about an easy death that I mentioned on my Discord that I didn't talk about. It talks about SAs quite a bit, and I didn't like that. And it was kind of done in a crude way, kind of just crass. It's definitely not what I expected from Charlaine Harris. Like, just very, very different from everything I've ever read from her before. And that may have been the point. Like, she may have been trying to branch out. It just did not work for me at all. Now, an update on Flames of Mira. So I got to page 277. I'm going to DNF this. Now, I know that in these types of videos, I usually try to push through, and I pushed through Legends and Lattes. I pushed through Fairy Tale, but this one, I'm just, no, I can't. So if you like world building and cool magic systems, and that can carry you through a book, you might really like Flames of Mira. Now, I've heard this compared to Red Rising quite a bit. I never got to the point where I thought Red Rising. Is it the ending that makes people think Red Rising? I get that there are some comparisons in a guy from the bottom rungs of society getting elevated to the upper echelons, but that's about the only thing I can compare to Red Rising with this. I do like plot-driven books. This does not have a plot as far as I can tell. And so I don't know. I don't know. And this is one of those things, and I said it on the Discord, that I believe some authors don't know where their story is going, don't know how to plot a story, and therefore bombard you with world building and bombard you with this cool magic system or something like that. Like, it's like distraction from the fact that there's not really a good plot. And so I kind of feel like that's where we are with this one. I don't mean to be hating on this book so much. It's actually really well written. The characters were just fine. I didn't find any that I really wanted to latch on to. Not the book for me. And this is one that I got an advanced reading copy, and it says out July 2022. And for some reason, I never picked it up. And I have this like sixth sense, and I'm starting to trust that sixth sense of when a book just languishes on my shelves for no particular reason other than I just don't pick it up. It's probably not for me. Like, I just have this thought, like I have this sixth sense that tells me it's not for me. But I will say, there are a lot of people who have really, really enjoyed this first book of this series. And so don't just take my word for it. I'd go check out other reviews because, again, plot-driven reader, I'm kind of one of those people that is an outlier in fantasy and liking plot-driven stuff. So yeah, Flames of Mira, we are done with. Now, since that's an ARC, it's obviously not going to be on my Pango, but I do have a little library across the way, like literally across the street from me. You guys have probably seen it in my vlogs. And so I'm going to put Flames of Mira in the little library across the way because I actually grabbed Holly out of the little library next to me. And you guys might be thinking, oh my gosh, Trinity, are you going to read a Stephen King? No, I got it from my mother. So no reading of Stephen King. I did want to update you guys on the fact that I am about 20 more pages into No Port in a Storm. I'm really liking reading before bedtime. It's helping me to kind of fall asleep a little bit faster. I am still having issues with my insomnia. So the bad thing about having insomnia, other than the fact that you can't sleep, is retention. It kind of makes where you just can't rely on your memory because your memory is being messed with by the fact that you're not sleeping. So I am trying to read as much as I can before my brain fizzles out, which is not lending me much reading time. So that's why I'm going very slowly with all of this. Well, to you, I'm probably going pretty quickly because this is a vlog, but I am really excited to get to The Stars Undying. So I know I've got 2 more books for this vlog, and it's going to be long, guys. I'm sorry, but I had thoughts and I needed to share those thoughts. So I am going to be starting A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. Now, this is not the only book that is on my TBR by Constance Sayers. It is the only one I own physically, though. So I'm really excited for this. This has kind of like an Addie LaRue premise to it. So I'm intrigued for that because I'm not the biggest fan of V.E. Schwab's writing. So Addie LaRue never really interested me in that regard, but the premise sounded really cool. So to find something that sounds very similar, I'm actually really interested. And this does say a sweeping story of magical star-crossed love, as glamorous as it is romantic. And I do like romance. You guys know this. I'm actually like a huge supporter of romance, but it's historical, it's romantic, it's kind of gothic. And so I feel like this is going to be a book I love. This has been a 5-star prediction in the back of my mind for quite some time. So I'm very excited to get to it. And like I said in my previous clip, I chose the 2 that I was iffy about to start the vlog off with. And then the 2 that I kind of had this feeling they were going to be for me for the end of this vlog. So this is one of them. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is Cait's pick, by the way. And I'm just, yeah, so pumped. My friend Izzy, she has read Constance Sayers before. And from what I remember, she had good things to say, at least about the writing. I don't remember what else she had to say. She read the Ladies of the Secret Circus or something like that. I don't remember the exact name of the book. I'll post an image up here so you guys can see it. But she had told me that she thought that I would like Constance Sayers writing. So I'm hoping that holds true. Now, I am looking at the back of this to see who else has blurbed it. And Louisa Morgan's on here. So that makes me a little nervous because I did not like A Secret History of Witches. But I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that everything will be great. And my mom is calling me probably because I'm gonna go eat lunch with her, and I'm going to go drop off lunch or dinner for my niece. If you guys have been keeping up with that, she had her surgery. She is 34 and was diagnosed with breast cancer. I've been putting the link to her GoFundMe in the description box down below. Not really asking everyone for donations, just I am so sad that a 34-year-old is having to go through this, and she's got 3 kids, single mom. She's a nurse, so I feel like I need to put it out there into the world that she could use some assistance. Anyway, we're taking them dinner. My husband made his famous meatloaf, and we're gonna run that out to them and probably go eat lunch with my mom. So I will check in with you guys when I get a little further in this book. Say hi, Grandma. My glasses are dirty. Okay, I'm taking them off for now because the glare is getting to me. So I have an update for you guys. Let me see. Hang on. I got a little bit further in the audiobook, so let me check my pages here. These chapters are like really, really long. Okay, I am on chapter 23, which means I'm on 276 and about 3/4 of the way through A Witch in Time. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying this. This is very different for me because I don't tend to like dual timeline, and this has like multiple timelines. But it's more like flashbacks because we are reliving this woman's life and figuring out how all of the people in her life are connected, how they're connected, who the person is that she encounters at the beginning of the book, what his role is in all of this. And the multiple timelines is reading more like flashbacks. I don't mind flashbacks. It's not my favorite way to read a story. It's not my favorite way to take in a story. But I do really like Constance Sayers' writing, and I like our main character. But this is also kind of because of what happened. A lot of horrible people making really horrible decisions that leads to our main character suffering quite a bit. Now, that is kind of what the whole basis of this story is why must our main character suffer all of these lifetimes, and why must these same horrible people be introduced into her life along the way? And we find out. So I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I don't think this is gonna be a 5-star. I don't think I am capable of giving a dual timeline, multiple timeline a 5-star. No, I gave In the Orbit of Sirens a 5-star, I believe. But this one, it bounces a lot through the plot. Like, we are very aware of what the plot is. We are very aware of the end goal. We are very aware of what our main character and her little buddy, that's all I'm going to say about that, are trying to accomplish. So there is plot throughout this, and it does rest heavily on what has happened in the past. So like I can see those threads of the plot coming through. It's very focused on the main character and what she's going through and the people that she invites into her life and this horrible person that she's destined to fall for and all those things. So yeah, it's really, really good. It's highly readable. It's one of those that I would say, if you're like a historical fiction reader and you're in a slump, pick this one up because I think this would break a slump. I would say look up some trigger warnings for this book if you want to pick it up, because while nothing is explicit, there's a lot of horrible things that happen to our main character. And I'm just going to touch on some, which would be sexual assault, suicide, many, many things that I think would be triggering for some people. But yeah, I mean, really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to picking up Shauna Lawless's book. I know that this vlog has gone on way longer than I thought it was going to, but Like I said, I've been having issues with insomnia. I've slept really well the past 3 days, so I'm hoping that that is done and over with. I will check in with you guys when I finish this. Also, my headphones have died, so I will have to start reading this physically, which might slow down my pace a little bit or speed it up. I don't really know. I don't know if I read faster with audio or if I read faster on my own. I think I do read a little faster on my own when I can sit down and actually spend time with the book. I've also made a little bit more progress in No Land for Heroes. Like I said, it's the book that I have by my bedside whenever I am going to bed. Not too much further, but man, something happened that just cracked me up, and I talked to Cal about it already. I was like, okay, this is hilarious. And yeah. I think that's all the updates I have for you guys right now. I'll see you guys in the next update. Hey guys, I am in the floor. Okay, there goes my dog. I don't know why he decided to jump off the couch. He does not like being on camera, so maybe he just instinctively knew he was on camera. I have finished A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. Hang on, I totally forgot to tell you guys why we were in the floor. So I have been pretty adamant about not having a TBR for May. I've been kind of like sticking to my guns about that fact. Like, I don't want a TBR. I don't want to feel tied down to what I'm reading because everything going on the last few months has made me just so bogged down that I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit to anything. And dummy that I am, I forgot that May the Force Read With You is in May. May the Force Read With You. And it's one of my favorite readathons. I love it because it's low stakes. Like, you're competing against yourself and no one else, which sometimes for me that can be pretty hard competition because I will push myself. However, I really did my best to like pull together a stack of books that I really want to read without like just giving in to what fit the prompt the best. And so I have quite a bit, and I have so much sci-fi on my May the Force Read With You TBR. That makes me excited because fantasy has overtaken everything again. And I do like reading more across the board than what I have been doing. However, let's get back to why we're actually here. A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. Now, I'm tempted to give this one a 3.5. But it's more like a 3.75, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give it 4 stars. Like, it should be a little bit lower than 4 stars, but it's not bad. However, this did something in the end that I did not care for. Like, did we really have to do that? Is that really the way it had to end? I'm all for a happy ending, but this book set us up for a bittersweet ending. And so I was prepared for the bittersweet ending. I didn't need the ending that came in the epilogue. So, I mean, maybe not, don't read the epilogue. I don't know. But I did really enjoy it. I liked Constance Sayers' writing, which I had a feeling I would since my friend Izzy told me that I would probably like it. And I liked a good majority of this. I did not like the way it bounced back and forth between timelines. We know this. I am not a dual timeline girly, and this had like many timelines. And so I had thought it might be a 5-star, but unfortunately it's a 4. But that does mean that I get to start The Children of God and Fighting Men by Shauna Lawless. I have been so excited for this series. I've been really looking forward to it. I've put it off because I have a feeling I'm gonna be obsessed. And that's just where I think I'm gonna land with this one. Obvious 5-star prediction. But I want to get into it and read it and just love it because I think I will. I have it on audio right now. I haven't bought the physical copies of the books because I haven't found them at the bookstore, so I might just have to order them from Amazon. But very excited to get into this one. Very excited to end this vlog because it has been going on for a while. For me, it has been about 2 weeks. For you guys, it's been about 30 minutes. But I know that this vlog is running long, so I'm going to try and keep it short. And I wanted to let you guys know that there's a solid chance that I might be participating in May the Force read with you. And I'll just turn you guys and give you guys like a sneak peek of the stack here. Okay, ignore the stack over here. That is books that I need to put back up on the shelves and then my buddy read for the month. But as you can see, I have a very healthy stack of books for May the Force read with you. And there's my puppy dog. Ignore the mess that is the closet back there. But yeah. I think I might participate. And then, get to some things that I'm pretty dang excited about. All right, I will check in with you guys when I get further into the Children of Gods and Fighting Men. Hey guys, again, my mic is set off to the side because I'm charging my phone. Whew, okay, Children of Gods and Fighting Men. This was a 5-star prediction for me for a very long time. This was Izzy's pick, and here is where I have to say, if this book would have been a little bit more plot driven, probably 5 stars. Probably. I loved the characters. I loved the lore. I loved the mythology and religion clashing, because it's always something that I really enjoy seeing paired together. This was so character driven though that I got bored. And so I can't give it a 5-star. I will probably give it a 4-star on Goodreads, but I'm coming in at a 3.5 for this one. Now, I loved a lot of elements of this story. I will still probably read the next book. It's not going to be as high on my anticipation list as it previously was, but a very good, very well written story, very character driven. If those are your types of books, I highly, highly recommend this book. However, wasn't quite for me. And I do feel like a lot of these books that I read for this vlog were not quite my taste. And I don't know if my current situation had anything to do with that. I do feel like all of these books were anticipated books for me. Charlaine Harris, absolutely love Charlaine Harris. I posted my top 100, you guys have seen it, and Sookie Stackhouse is on it. I really love that series, and I love True Blood. And I've read a ton of her mysteries. So I was not expecting what happened with An Easy Death, and so I was just kind of thrown by a lot of the aspects of that book. Flames of Mira, I think, sounds like it should be up my alley, and so I was pretty disappointed that it turned out not to be. I'm sad about that because it was one of the ones that I was looking most forward to, but again, with reviews I had seen, was a little iffy. So we get into A Witch in Time, and again, this book sounds like it should be 100% up my alley. Dual timeline. So I'm running into a lot of issues with these books that are very specific to my taste, and you wouldn't have known without reading the dang book. So I love videos like this where I can take stuff off of my list, but I hate that in videos like this, books that you guys pick for me, I end up not enjoying as much as you guys would have liked. So I'm a little bummed with that aspect of it. Yet I do think, like I said, these were 4 anticipated books for me. They were picking off anticipated lists of mine, so it had nothing to do with their choices. That just happens to be how the cards fell. And I will say, my patrons do know my taste pretty dang well, so I can't fault them at all for the 4 choices in this video. It's where the cards fell. That's how it is sometimes. Books just don't click with you sometimes, and I couldn't have known, again, character driven versus plot driven, couldn't have known about the dual timelines being an issue, because I have really enjoyed dual timeline in the past. Does it ever make a favorite? Only with the Song of Chimeria, really. I do try to think of other dual timelines that I have enjoyed, and now multiple POV I'm totally fine with. Let's just keep it linear. So that's been my biggest problem with it. Anyway, all of that to say, I have finally finished all 4 books for this vlog. I am sorry that it is a little long. It's a little on the long side. I had a lot to say, especially in regards to Charlaine Harris and An Easy Death. I have actually really enjoyed making this vlog. I would love to do it again. Hopefully my patrons aren't too disheartened in my ratings of these particular books, but it's what happens sometimes. It's what happens. Now, my next vlog will be reading books that my family picked for me, see if they can do any better, get me some 5 stars. I am excited for the May the Force Read With You readathon because I have a lot of very anticipated reads coming up on that TBR, which you guys have already seen. I thought this vlog would go up first, but it took me a long time to get through Children of Gods and Fighting Men, just because it was so character driven that I had to take it in spurts. But again, a great book if you're a character driven reader. It just wasn't for me. All right, that's it for this video. I do have a Patreon, obviously. That is what this video is about. My patrons picked what I read. If you'd like an opportunity to do that in the future, I have a link in my Linktree link down below to my Patreon. We are witchy themed, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!